Todd is 63 years old with $675,000 in assets. He asks, what questions should I be asking a financial advisor as I plan to retire soon? Well, Todd, I think that the first question is, how soon can we meet? Because I think that that it is important that you get in front of a trusted financial advisor to craft something very specific. It's not an investment plan. It is a retirement income plan. That is a completely different critter. It does involve investments, but it is way more than just investments.
So very much like what we talked about with the last question, it's all a question of what your income needs are and what those resources are. And so if you're just looking at, okay, I have $675,000, what investment products do I need to utilize? That's not a retirement income plan. So it really is very critical for you to understand, where is my income going to come from? Where is it going to come from for the first 5 years, the next 5, etc., through and beyond your life expectancy, and also addressing the question of any legacy desires that you might have.
So it's not so much what should I be asking my financial advisor, it is what we should together be working toward. And
Right.
I think the number one thing is income replacement. And when we think about income replacement, we think about it in two strata of income. One is your required income. What do you need to come in every month to cover your basic living expenses? Food, clothing, transportation, shelter, taxes, insurance, medical care. Those things are never going away, regardless of how long you work or how soon you retire or how long you live. Those things are going to be around forever. And so you need a forever plan to have income to cover those expenses. That's the first strata. The second strata is what we call desired income. What are the things you want to do? What are the things that you've thought about in retirement? Do you want that cabin in Colorado? Do you want to do some travel? Do you have a big agenda for the grandkids? All of those things are incredibly important to take care of, but they are not as important as that foundational required income. And that should be job number one with both the financial advisor and Todd from Little Rock.
I think it's also important, Todd, when you're talking with an advisor, for you to understand what their focus is. Are they focused on just investments or on the probability of something, providing X% rate of return, whatever it might be? What are they focused on? Is it those probabilities, or is it the safety of your income? Because you have to know that that's going to be there for you.
Yeah, here's the question that I would ask. If you got on a plane out at Little Rock National and the pilot got on the speaker and said, we have a 92% chance of arriving at our destination safely, would you be getting off the plane, or would you be okay to sit there and take your shot? Most people would be like, nope, I don't need that kind of uncertainty in my life. I'm off this plane. But there is a regular process that goes on in our industry, Janet, of people delivering probabilities to people and them going, I don't know that I'm comfortable with that.
Here's the deal. 92% probability of success sounds great if you're buying a lottery ticket. It sounds life-threatening if it's whether the plane is going to stay in the air or crash.
Or whether you're going to run out of money.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my point here. This is your question about the probability of success in retirement is much more closely akin to the probability of the plane staying in the air than it is to the probability of winning the lottery. In other words, it is a big, big deal if it doesn't go well for you.
I think the questions back to Todd's question to us, I think there are some questions you ought to poke on if your advisor is not doing this. Talk about a Social Security strategy. And if they look at you kind of funny, then you probably don't have the right advisor.
Still, John, even though we've been talking about this for such a long time on the air, we still have so many people who walk in the door for their initial consultation with an advisor, and they come in with his and hers Social Security statements, which that's fine. We need you to bring that. But they come in also with the perception that they have his benefits and they have her benefits, and that there is no way that the two of them work together in any way, because you don't ever get a report about, and oh, by the way, your spouse has this, and so if you look at this together as a household, it can look very different. You just get, if you retire at 62, if you retire at your full retirement age, if you retire at 70, then what does your income individually look like?
This is the one I love. She's got hers, and she's probably going to take hers when she's 62, but I'm probably not going to take mine until I'm 70. Well, that might or might not be the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
But people come in with these preconceived ideas just based on how they feel about it. You know, feelings can really betray you. And that's not what you want in a situation where you're trying to figure out income for the rest of your life. It's a big freaking deal to get this right. And so Social Security strategy, out of the ordinary future expenses. What are the things we're going to spend money on in a big ticket item way? And how are we going to provide for that? And if all of our money is in pre-tax dollars, how are we going to handle the taxation of that? Those are all things that you've got to kind of go through the motions of taking care of. Here's another big one, a written retirement plan, not just some ideas thrown around, scratched down on a legal pad or something like that. How about a written retirement plan that you can go back to and refer back to, which is what we do every time we sit down with someone who is a client of Gen Wealth. We go back to the plan and look at the plan. Where are we relative to the plan? Because the markets can go up and down and sideways and spin around, frankly, but the plan endures. And you've got to look at it in context of where you are with the plan.
Well, and when you think about the plan, John, one of the things that it does that we really greatly appreciate as advisors, and our clients over time, as they understand this, appreciate as well, and that is that it is written into the plan that we're prepared for when something like a 2008 hits. Like, we're not just projecting, oh, you're going to get, whatever positive rate of return every year. We're looking at what happens when it goes awry in any given year. And the plan is actually built to be prepared for that, so that you don't have to panic about now what in retirement.
Here's one other thing that I would say. I think Todd is obviously asking the right question, what should I be doing? But Todd, here's another thing. You and your spouse need to commit the time that's necessary to get this right. It is much more than just a transaction. It's not something that you walk in and get done really, really quickly and boom, we're done. I don't have to think about that again. That's not the case at all. It does take some time to walk through complex questions like income planning, expense planning, estate planning, things, how do you want to leave your money to the next generation? All of those things are in the mix with this type of equation, and you need to take the time to actually do that. Now, it's not like you have to dedicate 5 weeks of your life to it or anything of that nature. It's probably a few hours along the way, maybe over the course of 30 days with a financial advisor, off and on during a 30-day period of time, a few hours here, a few hours there.
Right.
But you will come out so much better. I see, Janet, people working their tails off and making really good money, but they actually don't really reach that potential fulfillment of the work that they've done, because they haven't taken the time to really plan how that looks after the work is over.
Well, and I would say there are a lot of people we've seen over the years who, and this is not necessarily in reference to Todd, but as I think through, what people are thinking at this stage of life, there are many people who are actually ready to retire in terms of having the assets, and they don't know it because they've never taken the time to get a plan on paper. And I think the beauty of knowing where you are in reference to your ability to retire is a big deal.
Let me pull out the thing that I'd love to grab, because I think this is really, it sets the tone. It sets the context for what Todd or anybody that's approaching retirement needs to do. You can get this document if you text STEPS to 501-381-5228. That's 501-381-5228. Text the word STEPS. It is 7 steps to financial independence. It is the ability for you to go through these 7 steps and get an agenda, if you will. These are the things that we need to be doing. These are the things that we need to be addressing. And if you don't have the expertise in your current financial advisor to actually address these things, if you get a cross-eyed look from him or something like that when you talk about Social Security or estate planning, then you probably need to find people that are skilled in these areas, because, Janet, this is not just accumulating money. This is planning out the rest of your life.
Yeah, it is critically important for you to be prepared to do that.